Thanks so much for staying with us. The United States has seen a faster reduction at the pumps, but can same be said here happening in other economies like that of Ghana? Petroleum strategist Dr. Yusuf Sulemana joins us via Zoom with some answers. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for your time. It is still looking a bit difficult to tell the factors that are accounting for these current downward trends. Can you suggest some global factors that might be responsible for this?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening to you, and good evening to our cherished viewers in Ghana and across the globe. Yes, it is indeed very difficult, to tell with certainty what are accountable for this. However, like I mentioned before, we will just have to wait. Monitor the market for a couple of weeks to understand what's going on. But what is clear, what is playing out since this oil market has gone, haywire. It reaches. It hits the 3-digit figure. A lot of measures have been put in place. So in hitherto, in a conventional optimization system, you have to keep one parameter constant and vary others to be able to see the impact. However, we've done a lot of variation. But two key things I think are currently on top of the list. That could be what's accountable for what we are seeing now. Number one is the rapid quantitative easing and tightening that we had in the advanced economies and even in Ghana. If you quite remember, the European world, UK, and then the US, they have done a lot of policy rate adjustment. And what they are trying to do is just to stem the increment in inflation. Their inflationary rates, they are not good for any economy. If you have too much inflation, I think it's tantamount to, it's a disaster in waiting. So because of that, a lot of adjustment has been done, and I think Ghana too, they are doing so. But these advanced economies, what they are doing is the fact, if you do policy rate adjustment, it's a double-edged sword. There's a tendency that it can dampen demand, because if you do policy rate adjustment, especially if you increase interest rates so much, lending really becomes very expensive. And so ultimately to have to reduce demand. And so that's the target. The target is to reduce demand because supply side of crude oil has always been not forthcoming. They tried a lot, but they are not forthcoming. OPEC has not been able to give answers. And so the demand side is what they are working on. So, but this demand side, solving it using policy rates is always a double-edged sword. And so what I think is happening now, there's a tendency that we could have demand destruction. Demand destruction here means that, prices will reach at the point of inflection where consumer might not be able to, accommodate. And so people will have alternative ways, to champion transportation. So yes, there's a possibility of demand destruction setting in. It's not certainty yet. We have to wait. The other possibility that might be accountable for this is shale patch from US. And that's how come you see US going down more than any other state, any other country as we speak now. Shale patch has been the counterbalancing force that has impacted global oil supply. In fact, they have been contributing to the previous collapse that we had. There is every sign that shale patch is ramping up. And if shale patch is ramping up and the supply side is beefed up, this could also have impact. So in my opinion, where I think these are the two factors that are on top of the list. There are other things, but I think the policy rate adjustment and then the ramping up of shale patch from the US to beef up the supply side may be what is keeping the market as it is now. But it is early days yet. We need to just monitor the market. Yeah.
But talk of the US, are we expecting similar declines in other economies such as that of Ghana?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm afraid we might not see that. If you look at what is happening, when this kind of abnormalities and uncertainties set in, every country is trying to look at to cover its back. Unfortunately, the activities of some countries like US will have direct or indirect impact on other countries, and that's what is clearly playing out. If we have hike in policy rates in a place like US, the dollar will automatically strengthen, and that's the target. And if the dollar is strengthened, it directly trickles to the weakening of any other currency. And if you observe, Europe in recent times has almost gone apart with the dollar. That has not happened in recent times because the dollar is becoming strengthened because of the policy rate adjustment they are doing. Yeah, so the impact may not be the same, though US is fighting their own battle internally just to be able to survive, to stay afloat. The impact, the cascading impact on other economies is always dire. And Ghana is the center of that. You can clearly see that we are struggling with our cedi depreciation. Sometimes we can take the right step, we can increase our policy rates in Ghana, but if the dollar is continuing to be strengthened, if US continue to adjust their policy rates as they are doing it and dollars continue to strengthen, it indirectly weakens the other currencies. And so that cascades in why I think we might not have that similar drop in other economies, not only in Ghana per se, because interest rates might not be easy. Because the currency depreciation might not allow similar quantum margins to be impacted in other economies.
Thank you so much. Dr. Isif Sulemana is a petroleum strategist. Now